Alright. I guess there's some time for self-advertisement. Let's just test the audio. Time for self-advertisement. Let's just test the audio. I think the mic can be a little bit louder. Maybe a little bit louder. Maybe a little bit louder. Okay, I think it's much as we're gonna do it. Yeah, they're still just shooting around, warming up. I'm not entirely sure what the delay is. But yeah. We can use this time for some advertisement. Maybe not on the official server. But maybe on some of the matchmaking servers. If I can find any fitting channel, I guess this one. Are they still in the lobby? It appears to be still this way.
You want to fight against them? You want to support?
Can hear Mr. Toxic on his stream talking. But not much else is happening. So, as is tradition, they are starting in a timely manner. But hopefully once they get started. Hello Enrico, hello Aircon, if you're still around. Yeah, then we will cast this. It's gonna be interesting to see this. I mean, it's not really a different format, but there are different maps than the official league, so we will see how that goes. I must warn you, it is possible that my stream might just disappear because I had some technical difficulties. That is to say, my graphics card was making some issues. It's been stable for today now, so I'm quite hopeful that hopefully it stays that way. But yeah, if not, if I'm just gone, then just assume that happened, and I don't think I will try again.
That's great!
Ruffle's also watching. Ruffle's watching my stream at the moment. Shumatsu.
Cash side, boys, cash side.
I am just waiting to see what maps you pick so we can get this cast going. Right.
Oh,
so shut up. Just sending Toxic some friendly advice.
Okay, the stockpile with your bed.
by the way, superhero. What did you mean by?
It sounds like we have Rick, superhero, Chuma, and Toxic in there.
Well, I mean,
we have superhero on our team. We have like a 15 member.
Is Nuki in here? Nuki is still not in the call.
what do you fucking mean?
Nuki is not in the call.
You can fucking fuck off.
What?
Hey, okay, they were saying something about their fifth player and I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, he was internet connection broken. Garbage.
So we'll see how that goes, if they can get that game going.
How long can you guys wait?
alright,
10 minutes for me to eat something, or do you have to fucking...
Fucking fat, dude. Fucking fat. Oh my
It's
god.
my parents.
Hey, dude.
And there's a lot of shouting there.
He's fucking while playing, dude. Fuck off.
So in the meantime, we don't really can do much.
Here's how it's gonna be. You're gonna.
We
play
could
the game and not be a pussy.
drop into the Ulrich VA versus FBI game, but
Because apparently, well, It's gonna take
Yeah, superhero is on the triple snippers, as is Mr. Toxic, Nuki, Rick,
Dude, I can literally
I think Jado,
hear
but I'm
him
not sure.
walking down the stairs, man.
Man, they are loud as hell.
He's just like, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get it downstairs. You hear like a peep from that.
And who else? Actually, we can see this if we go to the Discord. Wololo. Somewhere we can see the roster, I believe.
Bro, every time I think about Chuma playing, I think about that episode of
I just have to search for it. Okay, so right now we have on Triple Snippas Rick, Toxic, Goddamn Superhero, Jado, Swings, Chuma, and Nuki. Wololo.
Dude, are you fucking dumb?
Nuki is not in the fucking call, is he?
Are you stupid?
Am I?
It's pretty funny because Mr. Toxic, who's used to be a team member of Wingman, along with Nuki, is unable to tell that Nuki is right now shouting at him and claiming that Nuki is not in the call, while Nuki tells him and asks him if he's stupid. That is a classic Mr. Toxic moment.
Toxic. Already up.
Oh.
And it looks like we might finally go there.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
To nobody's surprise, the map is stockpile apparently. I don't know if there's picks and bans in this format. Matter of fact, I don't know much of anything. I mean, you guys are aware that I'm a pretty fucking dumbass. So, yeah. I know that the map pool is different because Matt doesn't like some of the maps and he likes CS maps. So, there's probably a lot of CS maps in there. But they decided to go for stockpile, and indeed, does the game show up? We'll just wait for 1 minute because I feel like it helps with stabilizing Path TV and not having the dreaded last round missing. You don't even know what I look like. And I don't have ketamine, so you don't have to be nice to me. So let's load into this and see how it goes. Any predictions? I don't have that fancy thing. Just say in chat what you want to say. So we have in-game sound. I hope the in-game sound is loud enough. If not, I guess I could boost it. Yeah, I don't know how that works, Cutie Cat. This is more for the females, and you know how that goes with me. And it looks like the Triple Snippers, awful name by the way, start as T. We have, as mentioned, Nuki, Rick, Toxic, Goddamn Superhero, and Chuma. And on the other side, I have keys set up, but I don't want to press them. I like flying around. We have Novet, Hospice, Vionex, which I never know how to pronounce, Osius, and Var, who I also don't know how to pronounce. So we might see another Kontakangen situation going on, just not as extreme, I imagine. And it looks like they're going for an A push. Chuma flashbangs Var, and they try to bait him out, but he's smart enough. He lobs a grenade, but it goes a little bit too far, but Toxic is scared of it and catches a headshot. Chuma, unfazed, pops him in the head, making this a 4v2. Rotate now coming in, but unfortunately for Plantz, they already have lost control of site. The bomb is planted. But Hospice says, hey Chuma, how would you like a few bullets in your face? Chuma didn't like it, but he's dead either way. We see now a breach from the mid side, but the Triple Snippers very disciplined. They just rat on site like they should. Starting fights with a long, but as soon as they start fights, Hospice is popping off. Now has to fight Nuki. He knows where he is, but time is against him. Nuki does not have to fight this, will not fight this. Will just stay cool. It would be best for him and not to fight this and die to the bomb if he can manage. But instead he kills Hospice. It's a little bit of an opportunity lost, but still win round. Hello, Odysseus. So 1-0 Triple Snippas. I don't even know what this name is supposed to be. To me, it reads a little bit like a STD, right? Kinda? Not? Yeah? So, you know, I don't know. It's probably one of those ideas from Toxic, which is generally not a good idea. Interestingly enough, Nuki decides to go anti-meta, buys a deagle on this anti-eco round. which is probably not for the best in terms of like making money, making bank, but also doesn't cost that much. He pops off Novid. Osius tries to like hand out some stabbies, get them booster shots in, but it just isn't happening. So now it's 1v5. Hospice is like, you guys, why are you all dead? I'm all alone. I wanna die too. But before I go, I would like to give a booster shot to somebody here. So he's sneaking through yard. And as that is happening, we will check once more on the format. So I didn't miss anything. No, I think we're in the clear. He's just lurking in the yard. And it looks like Chuma is out there looking for blood, and indeed Hospice Brain is being planted on those. I don't even know what this is supposed to be. I'm very worried about this business because they seem to produce a lot of the same stuff and they seem to produce a lot of it, but it never gets shipped. So this business is not very good, I would say. Alrighty, 2-0 for, how should I even call, like abbreviate them? TS? Is that okay? Or is it 3S because it's triple? But that's weird because there's no 3. I don't know. Looks like a 2-2-1 split. Rick's in the mid. He now has a real gun. Decides to nade somewhere in mid. Nobody's lurking there, so no connects. Goddamn superhero gets deleted. Bomb is dropped. It is a common knowledge that superhero is the bomb bitch. We'll see if that is actually something he'll tell anybody. I'd be surprised if Toxic picks up the bomb. Now he decides to shoot his gun and run away from the bomb. That thing is indeed ugly. It's now a 1v5 situation. Mr. Toxic can show us just how good he is. Unfortunately for him, he is very low HP. He has 1 minute to kill 5 members. He does not have the bomb, so he missed the opportunity to pick it up. If he had done so, he could have rotated and at least got some plant money. But instead, he has to look at his KD, which is at this point 0-1. Maybe he can get his first frag on Osius, who is just checking out what's going on in mid. Is Toxic here? Indeed he is. Osius finds out and decides to lay down. But now they know where he is, so this should be an easy double peek. Well, they make it 2 single peeks, which is not as effective, but it gets them the kills anyways. Vionex picks up guns, so even though Osius decided to lay down in mid, he still will be able to have a gun drop for him, making this first win for Plantz. Not sure what went wrong there. Everybody just died, decided, you know what, I don't want to play anymore, and just died. And so, what are the triple snippers? I'm just call him TS. What is TS gonna do? It looks like a save, although Nuki decided, you know what, AKs, they are pretty damn good, so I'm gonna buy one. He still has 2k, so he can buy next round. We see a little bit of a split here. Kind of weird buys all around. One Deagle that is pretty normal. I'm not so sure about the Bison. So it looks like they're trying to sneak the bomb towards B, pressure the A side, make it look like a normal attack, and then maybe get a plant off. We'll see if the plants fall for it. So far, nobody's moving. They are very planted to the ground. I can understand if you want to leave this channel now. This would be perfectly justified after this terrible gag. And we have 1 minute on the clock. So far, this is the scoreboard. You see minor peaks. Nuki now takes a lot of damage. And now they decide to go towards B. Hospice pre-nade does not connect, so he might just suspect that it's indeed an A. But they are very stationary. Chuma now gets Osius in the mid. But Novid says, if you do this to me, I will do this to Nuki. And Chuma says, if you do this to Nuki, I will do this to you. So that's, you know, that's how that goes. They overwhelm Hospice. Unfortunately for them, I think they rotated, but Vionex is still on plastic. He decides to play cool. Shoots Superhero, but not sufficiently. Superhero is an American, so he knows what it is like being shot at. It doesn't deter him in the slightest. He knows this every time he goes to Walmart. But now this is a 1v3 situation, 1v2 situation, 2v0 situation, making this a very successful safe round for TS, turning this into a 3-1. Toxic is like, the bump is stupid, we are just playing team deathmatch for the KD, get that shit out of here. and drops it for a goddamn superhero. Scoreboard wise, we have Chuma with 6 and 2, Nuki 4 and 2, superhero 4 and 2, Toxic 2 and 3, Rick 1 and 3. And on the Plantz side, we have 5-3 for Vion X. Vion X? Is it like a Vion X? And the X is what makes it cool? Is that what's going on here? Anyways, Ozzy is 1 and 4. Vora is like, Chuma, you killed me last round, I'll kill you this round. We will never know, Odi, but it's your choice, really. And then Hospice 3 and 3. Vora. And also I'm very concerned by the fact that the like not everything is capitalized. This is very concerning. Is this supposed to be a pronunciation help? They're about to, you know, exchange pleasantries. By that I mean he was throwing a knife, and understandably Nuki was not having that and decided to plaster the brain onto that box. But again, it's a very different and mixed buy. So Vionex shoots Rick, but Toxic kills him. Hospice is lurking on site. We have somebody in connector. This could be very devastating because Toxic assumes site is clear, and yeah, he gets shot in the back. And Hospice cleans it up. This was a partial save from the Plantz, so it looks like saving seems to be the play, as this gets you a lot of wins apparently. Not sure why that is, but yeah, 2-3. Let's go to the overhead map. I hope everybody is well this evening. Well, Cutie Cat, that might just be you, and you might get away with it, but I, on the other hand, are probably not, you know, this lucky. It looks like they're committed to the A-long double push, a classic tactic, tried and tested. Chuma and Toxic were throws a flashbang at that range. I don't think it's very effective. Now comes the frag grenade. Toxic is like, I'm getting the hell out of here, but first he gets his bum burned to a crisp. Chuma, on the other hand, says enough of this nonsense and kills him. On site, meanwhile, things are not going as planned, although Osius decides maybe I should blow up and dies, turning this into a 2v3 situation. 1v3 actually, as Vionex was still in spawn. 1v2 now, Hospice takes out Nuki. I'm not sure who has the bomb. Superhero usually carries the bomb. He does indeed. Mistypes, understandably, he has very fat fingers as an American. Still managed to plant the bomb in the red spot. Hospice will be aware where he is. Chuma is in sandwich, having a look at the mid door where Hospice was last spotted. We'll see how Hospice plays this. Hospice decides to peek. Chuma should have seen him. Superhero gets popped, but he manages to win these. 1v2, very nice play. Kills them both. A little bit of a misplay. Again, I think it was a Plantz safe round. Or maybe not. I'm not sure. And if he manages to calm down the angry calculator, as we say, he will win this round for his team. And bring home 2 AKs. That's always the best, when somebody comes home and brings 2 AKs. And they are very happy about it, shooting it into the ground. Fuck that ground, they say. And yeah, pass those AKs around. On the triple Snippas side, we see a different split than usual. We see Chuma moving towards B, Nuki behind him, and we see 3 people on A long actually. We'll see if they try to sneak something in, although they're very loud here. For moving immediately into dropper, hearing Drake and taking him out, and he's now, wait a minute, there was way too many people, I am alone here, I will run away. So he gives that up, very smart by him. Actually, he's hyper aggressive, it's a very risky play, but it might just pan out for him, as they don't check where he went, they sneak through A-long, so he will be behind them, but he will be very delayed. On the same side, we see a split push on B. I've been told that Nuki is the IGL on this one. Not sure what Hospice was doing with that nade. It didn't fly very far. Chuma unfortunately pulls out the grenade at the wrong time. Hospice does get naded, is very low HP, and Nuki finishes the job. Yes, I mean, that's what dads should do. So meanwhile, Toxic and Superhero managed to go all the way through CT into mid. They go on a little bit of an adventure. Unfortunately for them, they only have 35 seconds left, and they're still still 3 plants. That is hard to say. Around. Does Superhero have the bomb? He does not. Does Toxic has the bomb? He does not. It looks like almost they're on a safe. I'm not entirely sure who dropped the bomb. Nuki is also still alive and he has the bomb. So now they have like a split push coming from main. Superhero runs in there. Toxic just lurking in mid. There's a trade, so they know one guy is still on site, but they only have 10 seconds left, so Nuki has to make a move here. Toxic now help. They have 5 seconds to plant. Can he type it or does he fuck it up? 2 seconds, he does it. So that was just in the nick of time. We will see if Yonex can actually do what Hospice just did, win the 1v2. This time, however, he is a bit late, so he doesn't know where they are, and they are not quite as hurt. Mom brings back machine guns. She doesn't know about the Pablo meter. He's now spotted. Unfortunately for him, this will be a very hard retake. And Nuki says, you know what, flashbangs are silly. Just shoot him in the face, and does exactly that. Making this a 3-4 very close game right now. I was gonna give it to the TS team a little bit, I would say, just by the fact that there's a bunch of players in gold teams on one side. But it looks very even, and also Stockpile is a very even map, so 3-4. We'll see if the Plantz can also score as terrorists just as much, or if they're struggling with the setup. We see now Rick going towards A main, 2 people again on A long. We see also 2 people on B. We see some minor gunfire in B. Chuma sneaking to Snake, unaware that he's not alone in there. Rick, on the other hand, is aware Osius is nearby. Chuma manages to nade somebody and shoot somebody, so he was able to get control of B. However, the target appears to be A, and the Plantz are very confused by this action, as they are not aware where the bomb is. So Chuma is rotating to B, and both of them are leaning towards B side. If TS capitalizes on the situation, they will be able to take A side. But it looks like they're so slow that Plantz actually realized, wait a minute, nobody's entering B side. What is going on? And one of them walks back to mid. So there's a bit of a lost opportunity. Now the flashbang announces that it's actually indeed an A push. Although Novid is still on B. Now the taking of the bomb should convince him that it is actually an A push. Word, meanwhile, doesn't fuck around. He just shoots Chuma. And Toxic. And it's just Rick left, who is in sandwich, who was already spotted, so he's kind of trapped in where he should make his way towards the forklift just to get out of there. He does the little crabman. Favorite move by all. They have to move up, they have to do something. The clock's ticking here. We see Rick rotating towards A-long. It's a bit of a risky play, as he will need to ensure that nobody can actually snip the bomb. That would be very ironic. He's about to jump Ver. Never mind. Ver just shoots him. Does Novid have clippers? It does not appear to be the case, but yeah, Ver does not have either. That's a bit of a misplay here. I think they could have done it if one of them was gonna defuse it and the other was gonna just try to fight. They might have won it. Unfortunately for them, this was not the play, and they lose this round despite winning. And now, even more unfortunate, one of them decides to leave, says, I don't want to lose anymore, and just leaves the game. No, I would assume it was actually some sort of disconnect or technical difficulty. Quite common, unfortunately, making this last round 5v4. We see a similar split as before, although this time one in mid. Plantz now unfortunately have to play with one guy less, so it looks like they elected to use their A guy to just straight up give up side and instead only defend A long. Maybe to try to defend A side from mid, but unfortunately for Osius, he gets naded to hell and then shot on top of that. That's gonna be very expensive in terms of healthcare, turning this into a 3v5 situation. Yonex, on the other hand, kills Chuma 3-4, but the TS do have the side. Superior decides to walk into the yard. He trades out with Yonex, although it feel like that was a little bit laggy. And in the end, now it's a 1v3 situation. Hospice does win these at times. Like, unironically, he won 1v2. He picks up a gun. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if he's aware this is last round. So, picking that gun up, or even 2 guns, I think he looks like he's saving it. Unfortunately for him, he cannot save guns into the pistol round. That would be quite unbalanced. Novid is back, so he might play for time, and maybe he realizes his mistakes. Yes, now there's a reconnect. Slow Blackhead does have British internet, so he's not aware of things we say because he can't hear them because British internet. But fortunately, Novid reconnects, so at least the second half will be a fair play and a 5v5. And given that it was just one round of 4v5, I don't think it changes the end result too much. Now, unfortunately, Hospice finds out, hey, actually you cannot bring guns into the pistol round. That sucks. This sucks. Fuck this game. He just eats his pistol away in frustration and probably buys another, as indeed he does. So now we can see what the Plantz do. 3-6. It looked a little bit more even. The last 2 rounds were a bit unlucky for the Plantz. Bit of miscommunication and of course the disconnect. We can see, or we will see if they can turn it around. It looks like they are rushing B, saying Sugablatt, and just going for it. Everybody. Toxic all alone in the back there. We'll see if they are scared of him. They do name him interesting choice on the pistol round. It is enough to scare him away. They do manage to plant the bomb. This is the most important part. But given their score, they should absolutely try to win this round. Unfortunately for them, Hospice does get taken out. As does Nuki, as does Novid, as does Osius. Hero dies, but now it's up to Vror and Vionex, the players with the hardest name to pronounce, to win this round. They kill 2. They kill 3. They do it. They win these. And they decide to stab the enemy on top of that. I apologize, but I would say at this point it's not a Russian thing. It's just a universal European thing that has been culturally appropriated. Everybody rushes B now to Sugablatt, and that is just how it goes. And it looks like a push on A side, with multiple people entering A long. Rick has his work cut out for him as he has to face 3 people, all with superior firepower. He hides behind it and says, I need to get the hell out of here. He doesn't manage to kill anybody and also doesn't hit anybody, but he does slow them down. It's very crucial. But then he gets shot in the face. I can cast Age of Empires F, there is no problem. 3v1 situation now. Chuma does manage to 1911 Osius, so this will certainly increase his cash, but most importantly, he gets an AK, and we all know Chuma with an AK can be quite the problem. We'll see if he makes something out of it. He spots Vionex and deletes him in the corner. Can he find the other 2? He does not expect anybody in the sandwich, and as a result gets shots in his side and is killed, making this a 5v6. So the Plantz apparently do seem to know what they're doing. They managed to win the first 2 rounds. The economy of the TS allows them now to first buy rifles and a bit of utility. So we'll see if they now can mount a defense. Unfortunately for the Plantz, somebody disconnected again. This was not Novid this time. I believe it was Osius. Yes, that is correct. Another disconnect. Shut up, you nerd. This is my cast. I can do whatever I want. So this is 5v6. And yeah, we'll see if they will play this slow, not play this at all, or play this normally. If you usually drop a person, you should play it very slow. Give that person enough time to reconnect so that at the very least in the next round you can play. Given the economy, they should probably full save. Hope that TS gets aggressive. I mean, he should know this, Cutie Cat. He tries every time, like, can you shoot the enemy? Can you not get naded? Can you, like, win games? And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna lose. I'm gonna ignore you. So, we're not sure why Blackhead does not understand this, but it is a fact of life. We'll see Rick checking out some of the codes here on those boxes, seeing where they go, deciding this is very boring, and instead looks at this AK again. It looks like they are sneaking up, maybe get somebody who's aggressive, and Superhero does find out being aggressive SCP is a dangerous business. You have to be Echo apparently to pull it off. Nuki decides, you know what, I'll just smoke this off, nobody gets through there. And the Plantz say, you know what, we don't care about smoke. It's fine, don't worry about it. They walk through it, but then they get shot as they do. Nuki does get naded, it's one shot now, but he's in a very good position. It's still a 3v4, the bomb is down. Osmus does take Nuki, but Rick takes him out, and Chuha decides, you know what would be funny if I had headshot the both of you, and does exactly that. And yeah, that's a win for TS. Unfortunately for Plantz, Osius has not reconnected. And they also need to save, at least some of them do. Vunex decides to buy a smoke grenade, not sure why. They stand around in spawn, looking just around, you know, what's on the ground. Pulling out some AKs, dropping some guns. He gets dropped a gun, so they decide to actually go for it, which is a very interesting choice. It's a bit unfortunate they have so many disconnects. I feel like if they didn't, this game could have been closer than this now. Nuki, hyper aggressive, actually pushing the T-spawn. Still picking the fights, even though he has all the intel he needs. He then decides, you know what, actually I don't need to fight this. I know it's not A. Superhero again, hyper aggressive in mid, gets killed. Yeah, and now most of the Plantz are just very low HP, still kind of stuck in spawn, so they will need to save this one, I believe. Nobody is one shot. Hospice is slightly damaged. The bomb is down, and yeah. Bit of an unfortunate timing. I believe Nuki saw that. He did indeed, and shoots him in the face. Wasn't necessary as he was low HP. Still cool to look at. Just Hospice there now in a 1v3 situation. And he has 24 seconds, so I think he will save. Hopefully, Osius will finally be able to reconnect, or somebody else from the Plantz team is able to join on this game. Because if we're being honest, this is called a 5v5 MMR, and if you play this 4v5, you kind of break the rules of the name already. That's quite something, I would say. So yeah, that's very ballsy. This is the first map indeed, as far as I'm aware, but they started late, so I'm pretty sure it's the first map. And yeah, it might take a while, although unless if they continuously down one guy, then I guess the games will be shorter. You can now see that it's not goddamn superhero, it's $100 goddamn superhero, which sounds like a budget superhero if you think about it. Quite funny. I have no idea how this format works. You know I don't know many things, and why would I know this? You will need to ask somebody else. I just know they shoot guns, and I'm all for shooting guns. Chuma sprint peeks that corner, decides, you know what, if bullets come flying my way, I will not go there, but I will throw a grenade. They throw a grenade back, they play it slow, so no danger there, no text there. And Chuma is still holding it. Now he has a flashbang, I believe. He's sprint peeking it, yep, they're still there. I don't think that flashbang did much. I think it got caught in the steel beam and nobody got flashed much. Chuma plays the dangerous. Will I get hit in the face with the deagle game? He does not, but he get tagged twice, so he absolute cannot peek that anymore, because no matter where he gets with the deagle, he will die. Superhero finds his kill, and we see Osius reconnects, so he will be maybe around for the final round, unless Ver can turn this around. 1v4 will be quite difficult in 34 seconds. They know where he is, but now he has an AK. We shall see if he can also score kills with the AK. He moves towards Dropper, so the bomb is now unguarded. A bit of a misplay here. Superhero is also very low, should be very careful. He goes into the world's worst corner, gets punished for it, but Nuki says, enough of this nonsense, this round was long enough, and kills 4. So this might be potentially the final round, but we might also see a funny number coming up. Unfortunately for Plantz, they don't have a whole lot of money, so we see some interesting buys. We see an Ump, we see a FAMAS, although I do believe Hospice is quite fond of that gun. We can go into the action cam and see how that works. They elect to go for B, it seems like. We have Rick going into Snake. And Hospice is lurking, maybe he hopes to find Superhero being too aggressive again. They did make steps, so I think Triple Snippas should at least be aware there's some action on B. We see 2 people moving to Snake, and indeed Nuki rotates towards the B side. We have Vunex walking into main. It's a weird play, to be honest. I figured if you have an Ump, you probably should put it into Snake, as it's much closer range. as the ump has quite the drop down, bullet drop. This is the word I'm looking for. And so for these ranged fights from B main towards plastic, probably not the ideal gun with the slow bullet speed and the hefty slowdown. Hospice does get taken out. Toxic trades with Novid. Novid decides, you know what, the ump is stupid. I'll just get the M4. Rick gets deleted by Ozzy, turning into some 3v2 situation. It looks like Triple Snippas rotated back. Chuma says, I don't need to go to B to kill people at B. I can just throw grenades. 2v2 situation. They have 25 seconds. Hopefully they have the bomb. They do not. Unfortunately for them, the bomb is there. So they have to pick it up quick. They have 20 seconds time. They cannot save this. Nuki finds Ver. Vunex finds Nuki. 1v1 situation. And Vunex also finds Chuma, turning this into funny number. Very well played. I feel like if the Triple Snippas would have just played time, they would have won this round easily. They should have been aware, hey, it's 20 seconds left and we don't hear any beeping. They probably don't have bomb, so we can play time. But as Mr. Toxic is on that team, we can already deduce that intelligence is not their main factor. And thus they played a bit slow. Or a bit wrong, I would say. It looks like Plantz were not happy with their B-side choice. They now decide, you know what, let's all go into A main. But Ozzy says, this is very stupid, I will not join you guys. He's more like a main guy and also convinces Novid in the process. Nuki is on site on the ramp. It's a nasty head peek. And we have Chuma on long, who now finds out Burr is there. But decides, this time I will not lose. But he pays a hefty price as he's very low. They have 1 minute left. Unfortunately, the nade gets stuck inside the forklift. Does absolutely nothing. This forklift is made out of apparently material that can easily absorb a hand grenade. 4v5 situation. Clock's ticking. 45 seconds. The Triple Snippas are not rotating off. Nuki does get flashed, I believe, but is safe in cover. They do not follow up the flashbang. Looks like now they might elect for a rotate 35 seconds before the round ends. It's a very weird play, especially considering they don't have a lot of time. Unix does manage to get a pick, but is taken out. They now rotate, but again, they don't have much time, 20 seconds. They have to make this work. Mr. Toxic is rotating towards B-side. I believe it was spotted in mid, although they are not full rotating. 10 seconds on the clock. All Toxic has to do is prevent the plant. He tries to be fancy about it. Absolutely fails. Oh, unfortunately, Osseous kills Hospice. And Novid is literally a flashbang away from death. Superhero charges on site. Deletes Novid. And starts defusing. But Toxic says, this is how I improve my KD. I let teammates die. Chuma says, this is a prick move. I'll kill you. And defuses the bomb himself, making this a 10-6 win for the Triple Snippas. So again, I think with the disconnects, this could have been easily 8-10, if not 9-10, even 10-9. But unfortunately, there were some disconnects, and that made some rounds pretty hard to impossible for the Plantz. So good first game. We'll see how game 2 goes. I'm not sure what they play, how long they have to play, or any other rules, as I'm not familiar with this league. We'll just go over to his stream, which has the unfortunate side effect that we have to listen to Mr. Toxic, but that's just how that goes.
Toxic.
See, Toxic, you actually use the AK like me and Nuki did, maybe get some bitches and maybe
Nah,
some kills.
fucking AK users are literally
We have very mature talk.
Well, me and Nuki top fragged and you suck dick, so kill yourself.
literally a negative amount of bitches with your stupid ass AK.
Oh yeah, bro,
looking
I
like
just way bitches, so negative.
looking like an idiot.
Nah, bro, I like headshot you last round.
I mean, that is true. You did hat tap me as one tap. It's true. Very skillful, actually, I gotta say.
Thank you. I got a little bit lucky, but like I will take the compliment.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
Can you talk about how good I did, please?
it's AK. You're always lucky.
God, I'm superhero.
did pretty well.
Your clutches were on the levels. Like, oh my god, I was astonished.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have to say,
Appreciate
your
it.
charisma level that game was off the top, man. It's just-
It was slightly above you on the scoreboard, if I noticed.
I mean, yeah. It's because of your charisma.
My charisma. Yeah, that's what that third number is, right? Charisma.
Yeah.
And so-
Toxic is now the charisma guy.
No, I don't want to be the charisma guy. No.
You got your
No.
charisma.
No.
Hey, Toxic, tell us a joke.
No, dude, I can't do that. I'm not the charisma
Toxic.
guy.
Bitches amount. Shut
I
up.
want to know the top 5 tips from Toxic to attract women. Let's hear it.
Use
the M4.
Use the M4. Yeah. Don't use AKs.
Oh, good.
Don't use 50
We
cal
hear some
either,
breathing by
that's disgusting.
superhero.
Dude, can you call me Jado in this game? Can I be the Jado of our team?
Dude, I mean, what do you mean? Always
You
buying
Shadow
50
team,
cal?
we would have lost because Shadow sucks. Shadow, if you watch this, I hate you.
You
Dude,
mean like always buy
oh,
50 cals?
No.
We should be double Jados. Dude, I'll change my name to Jado for the league.
Dude, no. Dude.
It looks like we will see as
This
the
map
next
is actually dog shit though. So
cache, a Counter-Strike map, so we can see just how balanced
what
it
are
is.
you? An idiot?
Well,
Here, I'm gonna go see what they're saying about us in the chat, gamers.
You're not allowed to do that, man. Come on. What
I
chat?
can do that.
Wait, what chat?
Oh, RFL streaming.
Oh, right.
oh,
Yeah,
let me see.
there's a chat.
Send link into chat.
Oh, my eyes. So bright.
Yeah, but they'll be talking Polish. We can't understand that.
I can.
Are you fucking high?
They're a Polish team, you retard. Why would they be speaking English? They all speak Polish.
I think it was about Ruffles Street.
No, if he's
It's
watching
kind of
that-
ghosting
if Ruffles
superhero,
watching their
not gonna
stream-
lie.
they're a Polish- I don't fucking know. Superhero, send a link of the Ruffles stream in chat.
I think it was about.
Say a what?
Oh my god, retard.
A link?
kinda
No,
ghosting
you're
superhero,
stuffing your
not
fat
gonna lie.
fucking pig face
Ah,
with food. You fucking monkey. Okay, I sent it.
I feel like I need to mute this. This is just a little bit too much. I have this personal problem that like every time I go near a daycare, my head hurts. So anytime I hear Chuma or Toxic, Jado, I have that same feeling. So I cannot listen to that. Oh yeah, he said the thing. He said our thing, but saying the thing is tight. So apparently it's the wind that's causing the technical difficulties. The internet disconnects. Most unfortunate. While we wait, we can maybe listen to some tunes. Maybe get that VOD deleted. And yeah, it doesn't need to be this loud. I'm not sure why YouTube decides to just go all out. This should be much better. And then we wait. I hope everybody's fine. Your comms probably were ass. You should probably tell Toxic and Chuma to shut up. That would be a good start. I think I didn't hear a whole lot of Rick and Nuki, so I don't think they contributed to the problem as much. Yeah, so that would be a good start. If nothing else helps, I'm not sure if you're actually allowed to mute. So because I saw the announcement on the normal MMR server that you're not allowed to mute or deafen people. I'm not sure if the same is true in the 5v5 server, but this could be certainly a drastic measure to address better comms. There's some very weird things going on in my chat. I might need to time out to stop the anime degeneracy. That is actually an excellent point for one Black Hat. For once, you actually contribute to the discussion in a productive manner. That is very true. If Nuki is indeed the quietest, that is actually very concerning. It should make you re-elevate your life, or at the very least your comms. So, how about the next map? When will it start? We see now 6 people in the Discord of Plantz. Hopefully they will have a guy be able to jump in case there are further disconnects. Alright, it seems like the Plantz have sorted out their issues. And hopefully we can get into game 2 now. Make sure to leave this channel in order to not get banned. We don't want any Boris moments in this new league. I mean, if there's only like one game a week, then it would be a shame if it gets, you know, forfeited because of some Boris wife moments. I don't know what that means, superhero. You should probably use your brain before typing. I'm not sure if Toxic is working with stream delay. It didn't appear to be the case. Let's refresh. We don't see a map just yet. We could of course observe some random pub on Santorini, everybody's favorite map, but I don't think anybody would be too interested in that. Aside from that, there doesn't really seem to be any comp game. I'm not entirely sure as to why you would comp a pub and then make it Santorini. Probably new players to the game. We're just waiting here. Unix is restarting his PC. Novid now adopting my tradition of just randomly adding letters to complicated names. I very much approve of this, as Contact can attest to this. Alrighty. Still nothing here. Toxic is still in the shooting range. So we still don't have anything. Except of course the chill music. I hope everybody's Sunday is very relaxed. My weekend wasn't the best. Some issues with my graphics card. It's always a shame when you as a gamer have the thing damaged you love the most. So always very heartbreaking. Fortunately, we might be able to get this issue resolved, so things are looking up. But if you spend your weekend on technical stuff like that, then obviously your weekend is lost. So yeah, maybe I'll just work a little bit less like next week. Well, we shall see. We shall see. Wololo. Yes, and if you're interested after this cast, we will probably hop over to Age of Empires 2, casting the match of the century, that is Cutie Cat against Black Cat. But as I say this, we have now 10 people in the lobby. They haven't started yet, as not everybody has picked the side. Wololo. Ozzy's still needs to red up. Maybe he says, fuck this team, I'm going random. But maybe he can be persuaded. In the meantime, Toxic does find out there's indeed utility in this game as he lobs his very first hand grenade. Very well done, Toxic. Very well done. Maybe unlike in PUBG, you don't team kill anybody with this. Then again, this would be very hard on a training map where there's no other people. He finds his very first flashbang is just fascinating to see him experiment with all the things the game has to offer for the first time. My util is pretty on point. It's just that sometimes it helps the enemy team, but that's just how that goes. I think Toxic tries to empty the amount of util that is being spawned, not aware that there's infinite amount of new grenades. Still waiting that the next map launches. Surprised he hasn't picked up the RPG. Probably is not aware that it exists. It is concerning that the song is almost over and we still don't have a new game. It appears there's still technical difficulties, so we will need to jump into the next song. We'll keep it relaxed for you. I feel like I could have been always like a radio moderator for the night shift. I appreciate your good taste, cutie cat. If you frame it like this, it might probably for the best. We all know you're a very talented singer, although it is not always appreciated by everybody who's on the server. But you don't care, so that's how that goes. David Tay makes music for cats. I don't know who that is, but I'm all for it. This one is called Lonely Orbit. It's on the disc Journey to the Planet of Birds by DJ Frayne. Can highly recommend that album. That is most unfortunate, Black Cat, but unfortunately it's the music you're gonna get here. Just chillin', vibin', trying to relax, because we just had to listen a whole bunch to Mr. Toxic, which is quite nerve destroying, so we need just something to calm us down, to relax, and to get into the zone. There has been made the call that in 2 minutes we will start. Hopefully they will start with all 5 players. We shall see if that works out. If not, Radio RFL is going to remain on the station, on air. Yeah. They're all now in the lobby. They're readying up. It looks like it might finally happen. Yes, they are finding game servers now. Very nice. It's just how the radio station is called. You know, for legal reasons I can't call it RTL, so I have to call it RFL. We can already see the cache map loaded up. We can't see anybody in them. We can only see Mr. Toxic's awful aim on his own stream. And now his stream is black. Not sure what's going on there. Hopefully it didn't crash. Yeah, looks like they're all in. We'll load into that momentarily. He is in as well. So we can stop and quit his potato stream and actually focus on this cast. Let's try it. And stop the music. Alrighty, Cash, I don't know the callouts. I think this is A side over here. I don't play this map a lot. I don't like it. It's a Counter-Strike map. It belongs in Counter-Strike. What does the map say? Yes, indeed, A is to the right, B is to the left. So even Black Hat now hopefully knows where. It looks like Plantz start ST running towards B with 4 people. Auspice also running there, taking a slightly different route. Not sure why. He's walking there. He's trying to contest the mid maybe. The rest of the team now deploys a smoke grenade, or maybe it was goddamn superheroes. Probably, yeah, because he has a 5-7. He just spams the smoke, says, fuck that smoke, shoots it, a nade is being thrown, does not connect anybody. Nuki does indeed like to throw them nades. They deploy 2 smoke grenades. These are very well placed. Congratulations to Plantz. They now need to just follow it up. We have Rick on side, Osius gets superhero. Not sure if they know. Now they know Rick is on side. Now Triple Snippas should know that it's indeed a B push. But they are not pushing the side aggressively. They have 50 seconds left in a 5-4 situation. Looks like Ver is rotating. Nuki gets taken out via VNX, but Chuma takes out Hospice. Looks like a sort of rotate is coming through the vents. Chuma is checking out hers. He has shots in mid. Lots of flashbang. Unfortunately for him, enemies find cover. And it looks like they're taking the long way to A. Chuma gets a bit suspicious. Says this is all kinds of sus. And finds Ver with the bomb there. The bomb has been spotted. Chuma has one shot. Or maybe 2 shots. But he cannot hold the Plantz advance. Ver gets a little bit scared, mistypes. His team gets taken out 2v3, but Toxic and Rick and Chuma all very low. Novid is still full health. Ver is not full health, but he's ratting on side. Novid just has to play time. Rick is on top of him, but can he capitalize on that? He now gets spotted. This is most unfortunate, but Novid gets taken out by Toxic and Chuma takes out Ver. I do not want a call-out map. I do not care for this map. So, first round goes to TS, but Plantz managed to plant. So, they can now buy the bigger rifles. Or rather, they can buy the rifles and the armor. And they decide to go with the AKs. It's fun to shoot them, so they shoot them. Let's see what TS is buying. TS is also forcing rifles, but unfortunately for them, they will most likely not be able to buy armor or util. Toxic decides, let's try out this superhero, supports the American arms industry by buying M16, Nuki, Chuma and Rick say AK all the way. Nuki is in mid. And as Nuki does, he's nading. It's a very well-cooked grenade. This was not British cooking. This was German cooking, and he cooked it to perfection, blowing up 2 people from Plantz. Chuma takes over the mid after Nuki gets taken out and gets more 2 kills, making this a 1v4 situation. Most unfortunate. So also Vionex is already very hurt, so he probably needs to save. Toxic says, this is how my omp sounds. Are you not scared? Vionex is not really scared, but he has only 55 seconds left. 4 people to fight. They know where he is, so it's doubtful if he can succeed. He has 45 seconds. He appears to try anyways, which I'm not sure if that's the right call. He does it slow though, so Chuma might be unaware as he's just sprinting around in mid. I'm not sure why they're just giving up this side, allowing a free plant. Oh, Toxic saw him. And now they know, but the plant will go down, so there was a very missed opportunity. Not sure why they decide to leave a side unguarded, but again, only the plant, not actually a win. 2-0 for TS. Now they have all the rifles they need, but Plantz will have money again because they managed to plant the bomb. Do they decide to save? They do not. They say an AK is all you need. So they buy AKs. We see a flash, we see a smoke, not a lot of util, not sure if this is how you want to breach. Okay, we see another smoke coming out. We will see if they can make something out of it. Looks like this time they're going towards A. We see one guy going up in mid. We see, and going down again, just to make me look stupid. We see one guy moving towards the squeaky door and 3 guys, 2 main. Nuki runs in there, sees them and decides this is the perfect place for a smoke grenade and runs away. So now they're in a bit of a hard spot here as they need to aggress. They are very in danger of being naded again. They walk into the smoke and receive gunfire. Always an awkward situation. Osius does get deleted at Nuki. I believe he had the bomb. Yes, he did. Chuma kills 2 more. Worm makes it onto site, kills Nuki, but gets taken out by Chuma, turning this into a 1v4 situation. 50 seconds on the clock. Superhero destroys some vents. Says, fuck those vents. I believe this is a Puff TV observer bug. Although this can also happen in game, as this map can be very buggy at times. And yeah, 35 seconds on the clock. I think Hospice will not play this, which he probably shouldn't. Maybe he can get a frag if he's playing it smart, but it's a very risky business. This time no Plantz or his team will need to save, and as such the AK he is carrying is very valuable. He now looks to fight in the mid. Toxic decides to kill himself. I'm not sure why he did that. Toxic works in very mysterious ways. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. 3-0 for TS. And yes, indeed, now the Plantz are a little bit short on money. Unix is shaking the bomb, seeing if any money will come out of it. It does not appear to be the case, so disappointedly he puts it back on his back. And now the members of Plantz run off. Looks like they forced something. We see 2 more guns and 2 deagles, which of course are also guns, but not quite as expensive. We see some util, a lot of frag grenades. Them's are very expensive. If you throw them and don't kill anybody, that can be quite the failure in investment. Unix decides to shoot his M4, gets naded. Roar takes out, is being taken out by Toxic. 4v5 situation. Unix does have the bomb. Grenade comes flying in from Chuma. He does not know how to throw these, so it just bounces weirdly, and I don't think it damages anybody. Gets taken out by Unix, but Nuki takes him out, but is spotted in the process, so he needs to abandon that situation, as he did, very smart, because it was about to be blown up. Superhero, super aggressive CT, pushing in the mid, gets killed by Hospice. Hospice telling him, don't do this CT. But Rick gets the refrag. Osius now in a fight with Nuki. As is Novid, they need to be careful with the line of fire. Novid sneaks onto site, but the rest of the Triple Snippas should be aware. Yeah. Another win. Rick managed to kill the last 2 people, turning this into 4-0. Scoreboard wise, we have Chuma with 8-2, Nuki 4-3, Mr. Toxic 4-1, Rick 3-0, and Superior, I believe, is still waiting on his first frag. He always does this with his long name where you can't tell what his score is. On the Plantz sides, we have Vionex with the 2-4, Osius 2-4, Varar 1-4, Hospice 1-3, and Novid is still waiting on his first frag. Hopefully his technical difficulties have been resolved and he can commit and participate in this game to the fullest of his abilities. We see Superhero now going up here, pulling out the AK. Did he throw something? No, that was not him. Looks like they trust him with his side. No, never mind. Rick is in the backup down there. We see another smoke grenade. Actually, it was, yeah, 2 smoke grenades. Not sure that was intended because the second one didn't really do anything. The first one does. They don't seem to really follow up these smoke grenades with anything. Now a grenade is being thrown. Another smoke grenade. So now they need to use the smoke. Hospice is walking in there, just holding that. Showing Nuki, you cannot push this. Rick, on the other hand, answers, hey, you also cannot push this. And this is a stalemate. The score on stockpile was 10-6 or 10-7. I forgot. I think 10-6, but do not quote me on this. Rick takes out Hospice, shoots him in the face, he just falls over, turning this into a 3v4 situation. But this time the Plantz do aggressively rotate. We have Novid in the mid. I think Triple Snippas know what's up as they are trying to rotate. They are a little bit slow. Novid takes out Chuma in the mid. Toxic now on the car, all alone. Novid also takes out Superhero. He's lurking in mid. Will he get Rick as well? What will Toxic do? And will they ever find love? Yeah, so Novid doesn't find love. He just finds Rick, who has an AK with a silencer. And whatever was proposed there, it was being shut down, turning this into a 1v2 situation. But Toxic is literally one shot. And Ver proves this, deletes him. He doesn't switch positions, which is a bit unfortunate for him. So Rick now should know where he is. Looks like Rick is just fucking yeeting for it. Drops his clippers and then gets shot. I mean, sometimes you just have to do these things, and Rick kind of felt like he should do these things, just as Mr. Toxic decided to kill himself some rounds prior for no apparent reason. So this was the first round that Plantz won, 1v4, or 4-1. And this is the current scoreboard. Superhero, I believe, is still waiting on his first frag, but he is very charismatic, so him not fragging is not a big deal. As a part of the group, he is boosting the morale of the rest of the team, conferring attack and damage bonus, and helping the rest of the team win. Looks like another slow push here. They didn't have too much success with him. Last time they did get some picks, but then they decided to rotate off, never taking the side. Maybe this time they actually can take the side, but they played slow. Novid is stepping around like he's Michael Jackson. The rest of the team is a bit more slow-paced. Superhero does smell what's going on, but then gets his nose shot off. We have all 5 people bunched up. Lucky for them, the grenade bounced against the wall, did no damage, could have killed them. Rick says, you don't need a grenade to kill people, he just shoots 2 of them. The rest managed to sneak onto side. Toxic with a flank. Chuma up there is a very hard situation as they're completely surrounded. Novid still stepping around like a madman. Finally gets shot and shot. So, and now this is another 5 win for the Triple Snippas. 5-1. The Plantz did break their losing streak, so they have no money again, or rather a low amount of money. They can force guns, but probably will not have a lot of util or armor in this situation. Triple Snippas, on the other hand, are flushed with cash. At times, Chuma is still 7k. Rick has 5.4k and all the util in the world. 2 frag grenades, actually. The boy is saving up his frag grenades. We see a cross-map smoke that I don't know what it was supposed to do. We see Vunex ready to booster somebody if somebody wants to, you know, get the stabby. We don't see any bait for him just yet, so be interesting to see if anybody is as aggressive. Looks like they're leaning towards lurking mid, hoping that the Triple Snippas will lose patience and push SCT. But so far everybody is fairly disciplined. We see the same old positions. We see some light gunfighting in mid, but no shots connect so far. Looks like they're now moving towards A side, which might just be the call as Toxic does get impatient. Rotates without big reason, I think. Chuma is still lurking on side. The question is, can they overwhelm him? He's just lurking in the corner. Does he know what's going on? He's probably hoping somebody will open up Squeaky, but they do not. So now they walk on side. Chuma does not have his gun up, and he gets punished for that. He gets shot. Does plant the bomb. Vunex is gonna yoink that gun. Yoink it goes. No, he picks up the knife. That's not what he wants. Picks up the gun. Toxic gets a frag rate. Doesn't matter. Gets another frag rate. Doesn't matter. But he turns this in a 3-4 situation. So now they are on all the lanes. We have Rig in mid, Toxic in mid, Superhero coming from behind Giggity. Burr gets naded by Nuki. Nuki really likes to throw these nades and do damage. This nade, on the other hand, does not connect. Hostiles takes out Toxic. Vunex takes out Nuki. Superhero on the flank takes out 2. Is taken out. 1v1 situation. He just has to play time. Rick knows this. Last time he drops his clippers in panic. Does he have clippers now? He does. Does he get it this time? I don't believe he gets it. But at least he didn't drop them down. Turning this into another win. It was a close one, but a win nonetheless. 5-2 for TS. And this is the current scoreboard. Top fragging is Chuma, but top scoring is Rick with 9-2-23. On the Plantz side, we have 4-7-13. Superhero, meanwhile, manages to get 2 kills, I believe. but is still at the bottom of the scoreboard. I'll point this out just because I can. We see some very low resolution graphics on the side, a very tiny thing. I'm not sure why this is in the map, but it is, and it looks like another very slow push on A. I don't think any of those really succeeded so far. I think all the wins were happening on B side. We see Chuma and Nuki hard rotating. Rick is now in mid, being killed by Hospice, but it looks like they know what's going on. Not sure where they got the intel. They might have pushed A side. Hospice is up in mid, but he's very, very low, so he will have to be very, very careful. And the rest of the Plantz are now all bunched up. This is a very dangerous territory. But lucky for them, none of the Triple Snippas have any explosive utility left. So they can just leave. Unix still picking fights and making it seem like this push is still coming. In the meantime, Var and Osius are rotating. Hospice is lurking in the mid, but Chuma is also lurking in the mid and is showing Hospice how it goes. But because he was moving towards B side, they might be thinking, hey, this is a B, especially since Unix is still there. They don't peek him and he gets shot, but now they know Pranked is actually not the side and he's in the back of them. Chuma is now stuck. Nuki does get shot, but is refragged by Chuma, turning this into a 2v2 situation. They have to walk quite the way. Superhero decides to go for the very long flank, so Chuma is now at the car. He doesn't have an angle on the guy upstairs, but now Osius opens up. Bit of a misplay, I think. He should have just lurked there. Now they know where he is. They try to kill him. Superhero does get deleted, and they know where the last guy is. 2v1 situation, very hard. Unfortunately for him, he peeks at the wrong time, throws the nade at the wrong time. Chuma tries to make the flashbang quick play, but doesn't follow up with the actual clip. Not sure why he did that, because there was no angle. So if he had clippers, which at this point and with this much money he absolutely should have, you could have just clipped the bomb and won the round. But then again, frags are very important, so makes sense. 5-3. So it seems like the Plantz, every time they take a site, they all die, but they still manage to delay the enemy so much that they cannot defuse the bomb. Looks like we see another slow play on the B side. It's interesting because it hasn't worked out a single time so far. Only it ever did was really pull off members from the Triple Snippas. We see Nuki being hyper aggressive in mid, sneaking behind them. Maybe this is how they got the intel last time. This time he will not find anybody anywhere, so he can't be quite sure. I believe he heard somebody in mid, and I believe Hospice, seeing how he runs around, might be aware. Maybe he's not. Nuki now climbing up the stairs. Now they hear shots, so Nuki's walking back to B, checking, still on A. With Hospice on the lurk, he will now hear the rotate. Superhero does get killed here. This is very, very dangerous. I'm surprised this never got punished with any sort of util. Maybe this time, maybe Toxic can actually find a nade. He's throwing one, and it actually kills two. I called it. You heard it here first on Radio FR. We have Hospice still lurking in mid. He punched through, but Toxic killed him. Yeah, so if you all bunch up here, and then somebody throws like a big explosive thing, like for example from here, and hits it, and he didn't even cook it properly, probably because he's Belgian, which is not a real country by the way, then it will explode here and kill everybody. Alright, round switch. Now we have the Plantz on the defense, we have the Triple Snippas on the offense. It looks like they're moving towards the A side. Chuma is moving towards Squeaky. The rest of the squad says, let's just go. Actually, Toxic diverts Superhero like the wannabe IGLE is. Rick just YOLOs onto side, doesn't get punished for it. Takes out Hospice, but loses quite a bit of life. Unix does get naded in the corner, but manages to avoid it. Gets flashed. He's probably sick and tired, as he is, as he shoots somebody as a reaction. PvC situation, they managed to plant the bomb. Superhero pays with his life for it. Toxic does get naded but doesn't get killed. But he does get shot, turning this into a 1v3 situation. Chuma does have the Glock and it's a very balanced gun. So he takes out 2. 1v1 situation. And he takes out 3. Yeah, the Glock is a fairly balanced gun that absolutely does not need a nerf. You just, shoot at people and they die. That's how that works. And also just received the information that the Age of Empires show match that we have all been waiting on might not happen tonight. We shall see how the participants feel. I, as a neutral caster, will of course oblige to cast whenever I can. So yeah, if it needs to be delayed, then we will find another time slot. Toxic now in the mid, alone with his AK, looking for Hospice, who managed to just hide there. We'll see if Toxic does get greedy. But it looks like he will make the right call. Kills 1. Chuma, on the other hand, is earning money with the ump. So now it's a 1v4 situation. They know where the last guy was, as Toxic called it. Or maybe Toxic didn't call it because Toxic wants to frag for himself. But they should know in theory. He's looking for it now. He says, I want that kill. Will he get punished for it? He looks around in disbelief. Where the hell is this guy? Doesn't see him. You see some minor trolling from Chuma starting to defuse the bomb. Rick is looking around. Toxic is checking if there's nobody in spawn. He misses Ver, who is a master of evasion, as he also evades Rick. I think he saw Rick. He now could go for the stab as there's really no danger. And I don't know, he did not... I heard the hit sound, but Rick still has a gun, so maybe he just did the damage. But little pro tip here for the next time. Once the round is over, you might as well go for it with all your aggression, because even if they kill you, they will not get any money for it. And if you kill them, you also don't get any money for it. But if you kill them, they tend to lose their equipment. So you did the damage. So yes, we hear it here first. Indeed, Culicax postpones the Age of Empires show match, but we will surely cast it on another time. Hospice meanwhile pops off, kills some people who try to breach his side. Rick has a silenced mini AK with a dot. Okay. Chuma gets out of Squeaky and Squeaky's Vionex in the face. It's a 3v3 now. Most of the plants are not near to the site. This is a very risky play by Rick, because Toxic is not nearby, so if Ver understands this, he can just defuse the bomb and Toxic can do nothing about it. His teammates are now bagging him up by just shooting Toxic, and they win another round. Kind of a misplay there. (8-4). And this is the current scoreboard. We see Chuma popping off 22-7, 47, Toxic 14-6, 33, and 11-6, 33 for Rick. On the plant side, we have Roar 8-9, 24, Unix 8-12, 24, and Hospice 8-11, 24. Looks like a lot of 24s in the plants. We see a cross map smoke that lands on top. I'm not sure, I'm not aware of the current Counter-Strike meta, so it might be very important to drop a smoke there, but I think it was just a little bit too high. Looks like the triple Snippas are splitting up quite a bit. We have some people sneaking over there. And the rest of the team is like more towards mid. Chuma now sneaking alone. And so far nothing much happens. Rick took some damage, as did Chuma. On the plant side, everybody's still fully healthy. Grenades explode, Nuki takes just a little bit of damage. This is not museum, so nades actually can hurt somebody. Chuma gets killed. Toxic kills Rick. He says, you know what, Rick, I never liked you, and just fucking deletes him, turning this into a 3v4. A bit of a miscommunication here, or Toxic was actually communicating quite well his opinions on Rick. We will never know. 2-4 situation here. We have Toxic Alone all in there. He loses his helmet or head, as some people say. Will he team kill Superhero? As they don't seem to aware where each other are. They have 28 seconds. Normally Superhero does carry the bomb. Does he do it this time as well? He does. So if he wants to rotate, he has to now. But he's probably just hiding from Toxic. As Toxic likes to team kill, that is just what he does. He doesn't have this name for nothing. So they probably both save. 10 seconds left on the clock. His current scoreboard, so due to the team kill, Toxic dropped quite a bit. Goddamn Superhero still waiting on his third kill. See some smoke grenades coming up. We see a hefty mid. I'm not sure what's the current plan is. Looks like a mid push, a little bit of a mid smoking. See some questionable smoke grenades that don't cover what they're supposed to cover. Superhero does get killed. Rick gets the refrag. This grenade is a little bit overcooked. Osius kills Chuma. Hospice kills Nuki. Toxic is on the flank. Osius also kills Rick. I mean, it's just Toxic who has to kill 4, but he cannot pull this off. Turning this into an 8-6. Triple Snippas kind of falling apart here. Starting very strong on the CT side. On the T side, they don't seem to really know what they're doing, at least so far. Not sure if this is just them memeing or generally not sure what they are supposed to do. But they just managed to commit group seppuku by running into mid and dying. We see a bit of saving coming out. I'm quite surprised Chuma actually full bought, it looks like, and the rest of the gang decided to just buy deagles. We see some nades which are British cooked, meaning undercooked. This one was not. Nuki is literally one shot. Superhero ever managed to sneak through, but then does not get Nuki, Novid, despite ample opportunity. Nuki does finish the job despite his low health. So this is now a 2v3 situation. Unfortunately for them, I think the bomb is over here. Yes, so it's over there. Toxic is one shot. Nuki is one shot. Now Toxic is 0 shots. It's just Nuki. They don't even have to push him. They probably can collect guns. Or they just shoot him. They probably would have died to the flashbang. Yeah, so 8-7. It's kind of springing around. Osius is just banking that cash. 10k. Hospice also flushing that cash. Vionex also quite rich. We see a lot of util now coming out. We see clippers all around. I like to see this. Vionex a bit short on the util. Not sure why he's not also investing some in the funny tools. On the Plantz side, however, we see a weird buy, however. We have a plastic AK by Rick. We have M16 by Chuma, who already shows that he actually can get kills as he kills Osius in mid. As for setup, we see like a 2-to-1 split. Rick going towards the squeaky. We have 2 people in mid. Superhero now trending towards the B side. We hear some flashbangs. Superhero does get headshotted over on the side by Hospice. Toxic and Nuki are kind of stuck. They're both kind of low. A single frag in it would eliminate them. His frag, however, does not kill anybody, so they do not manage to breach. Toxic now opens the vents, giving the signal that the attack on A side is probably over, and they seem to rotate towards the other side. However, unfortunately for them, the defenders are still there. Riggs is trying to make that plastic AK work. Toxic is trying to sneak through mid, but gets caught in the moment, gets shot down, turning this into a 4v3 situation. Only Rick really has health, and he has a plastic AK. But Hospice and Vionex are both quite low. All they have to do is kill them, take on side. There's a trade, so it's just Rick and Nuki. So 2v2 situation. However, Nuki is quite low. does get taken out. 1v2 situation. He has 15 seconds on the clock. He's looking for the bomb. He's trying to pick it up, but picks up a gun. Tries to pick it up again. Doesn't get it. Unfortunately for him. He has 5 seconds. They see him run. They see him rolling. They're hating, but he still plants the bomb. Very nice, despite the little misgrab. That can always happen. And they kill him. So he did plant, made a bit of money, but unfortunately we're at the stage of the game where that doesn't really matter. They should be on a loss bonus by now. And they desperately just need wins and not just money. 8-8. Can they actually pull themselves together? Or will they manage to throw this game to the end? The conclusion to this cliffhanger is just about to come online. Looks like this time they don't decide to split up and hit A with everything they got. We will see if Hospice is ready for it. His frag grenade does tag superhero, so he knows he hit something. That flashbang probably didn't do all too much in that corner, but he can hear a lot of shuffling. We see another plastic AK. Somebody needs to call the meta department. Superhero tries to breach, but instead his face gets breached. Quite hardcore, turning this into a 5v4 for the Plantz, and they know it's a B push. Toxic kills Vionex, making the way for Kuma to open the door. Hospice does kill Rick, but Rick also kills Hospice. 3v4 situation. Side is smoked off quite nicely. He sees some movement in the shadows, or in the smoke rather, but doesn't manage to kill him, only connect him. Osius pushes into Forklift, finds Nuki, who kills him, but loses quite a bit of health. 1v3 situation. Novit, I don't think they spotted him. He kills one. Nuki is literally one shot, so if he manages to take out Chuma, he's a very good chance. Unfortunately for him, they know where he is, and he also has to defuse, so he might play this slow, hoping to delete the money further. He deletes Noki, but he shouldn't fight this. He does indeed, and so now this is a match point for the Triple Snippas. Unfortunately, I don't think he had time to pick up any guns after that victory. So they will still be quite low, except for Rick, who for some reason has 7k in money. I'm not sure where all that money is coming from. Probably some crypto gambling right there. But they do manage to all buy guns. Some light util, except for Toxic, who never uses it anyway. Superhero does have 2 frag grenades, which is quite concerning for the rest of this team. On the Plantz side, we have buys all around. It's kind of weird. Novit has a M16, apparently out of cash struggle, I would say. Even though the rest of the team could have bought him in this crucial round, you want the gun you're most familiar with. We see a pre-nade coming out, but it doesn't connect with anybody, so they have no clue what they're doing, or what the enemy is doing. Hopefully they know what they're doing. It seems like they have the intel because they already have 4 people on site. Quite the rotation, quite the call out, but it's just what they need. Superhero again gets killed as he breaches. Rick also gets killed. They also spot Nuki, who also gets killed. I'm repeating myself quite a bit here. Toxic finally manages to break the spell for comes back from the other side. But 2v4 situation, Osius is quite low. He's just lurking on side. Chuma kills Hospice. Oh, and Toxic kills 2. I feel like they misplayed this. There was no reason to peek this. 1v2 situation, Toxic is half HP. I feel like we just saw this. Ver does manage to kill him. Now it's a 1v1 situation. Ver should play this carefully as he does not have to peek. Chuma just goes for the frag, gets it. So 10-8. Close match. Could have gone either way. But in the end, the Triple Snippas bring it home. And this is the final scoreboard. So I'm not really sure how the format goes, if there will be a third match. We'll just tune into the stream.
Can we start immediately this time,
Yeah,
please?
blue manner.
So I hear on the stream that hopefully it will be
What do
a
you wanna
lot
do,
faster
Chuma?
than last
I
time.
don't care.
It looks also the map is going to be
It's actually-
manner.
What are you gonna do in a scrim? What?
Play with CP.
Against who exactly?
Dream team.
Oh man,
third best team in the.
I don't know. I don't know if they want you in that screw, man. You're kind of a like.
Did my Voltron list beat them last night?
My waifu list? Excuse me.
Well, that's their old name.
That's the
My
name.
Voltron list.
Yeah, it's my Voltron list.
Yeah. Did they win last night? I didn't get to watch the game. Oh, they got 2 wins off Dream Team. Holy shit!
I mean, that was a very close game, like 10-9.
Yeah, 2 10-9s and.
We hear some spoilers. I'm not sure
Wait, did my Voltron list win?
what's
Yeah,
going on
that's
here, but
crazy.
it doesn't look like they are just starting on the 3rd map. But it looks like they're playing a 3rd map. So we will have to wait and see just what happens. In the meantime, we can listen to some more sweet tunes, which probably get muted on the VOD, but so how that goes. And we can refresh. I think the last map will be Manor. That was what was being discussed. Okay, apparently Matt has some info we do not have. I'm not sure if Mr. Toxic has delay on his stream or what's going on there. This is not what we want right now. Maybe somebody else is streaming who is not as delayed. We have Rick streaming and we have Bjorn streaming. Maybe let's tune into Bjorn. No, he's also still there. Okay, but it looks like they're picking red. Looks like Triple Snippas are finishing this with the same set, but for Plantz we see that Ross comes in for... Now, if I didn't have an old brain inside this old body, I would know who left. Novid, I believe, but don't quote me on this. I'm pretty sure it was Novid. Right, they're praying to the Dave's gods now, hoping to find a game server. We will see if their prayers are getting answered. I mean, this, you know, this would also be kind of the same. Yeah, but looks like they found some, as we have another black screen from Toxic. I don't know why that is on his device. It cannot stream, but that's just something he does. We'll wait until the game has the 1 minute mark, so we don't have the dreaded last round of missing. And then we will load into a Manor and stop the music. This was Bonobos Don't Wait on the fantastic album The North Borders. Come join us next time when Radio RFL is streaming. Alrighty. So, looks like the Plantz are assaulting the manor. They want to blow up either the mausoleum over here or the graves over there. I'm not entirely sure what the issue is with these graves and why they need to be killed. We see a lot of team kills going on by Chuma. Not sure. I believe they ended the match probably because there were accidental team kills, which is a pure Chuma moment, and we have to recreate the lobby. Yeah, it looks like they're recreating the lobby. Let me just join into the voice.
Oh, I see.
Wait. Ozzy's wasn't in Plantz for the first games.
I think he was.
He was in the second one.
Yeah.
He was in for the first.
Alright, they loaded into another map. Maybe somebody was late. Maybe I missed that. Maybe Chuma was just being Chuma. I don't know what the situation is. All I know is that we now have the next map. Oh, you rage quit and know it. Have you thought about applying to CC? Yayo! I said the thing. They were late. Black Cat helped me. But as always, I do not believe in the calls Black Cat makes. And it just, you know, put in my own reality. That is just how I roll. Alrighty, same setup. This time it appears everybody loaded in. And we shall see what they make out of it. I'm also not so sure about the setup of this manor, but we can discuss this during a save round or maybe a little save action. We see the Plantz going for full A push. This is a bit dangerous for them as Nuki likes to buy grenades, and indeed he bought a grenade this time. Will he use it? He hears the flashbang, he primes his own grenade, he throws it in, but it was just a bit too British cooked, so it didn't really tag many people. No matter Toxic just shoots people. Also Nuki shoots 2 people, turning this in 2v5 situation, 1v5 situation now. Next turns this around, but then gets swarmed. So no plan for the Plantz. This is not ideal. This is not how you want to start off the last set, unfortunately for them, as they are now quite broke and will need to somehow make something happen. On the Triple Snipper side, we see some biased. Chuma decides, you know what, the Glock is so balanced, I will take it into the savings round. We see Nuki with a mini AK, Toxic with the default superhero default omp, and Rick likes to flash out his Uzi as if he is a gangster. He actually one-hands it and one-hands a roar in the face. Sounds way more dirty than it was intended to be. He also shoots Ross in the table room, then they shoot each other, because why the hell not? And now it's just Hospice, who's just lurking around, seeing if he can boost somebody with a little bit of a stabby. We see Toxic shooting for frags. He already has 5. He says, look at the scoreboard, look at my kitty. He baits Superhero in there, but Superhero does not take the bait and decides to kill him and then dance. Gentlemen, I must remind you, this is not Fortnite. If you continue to dance, we will need to shut this off. 2-0 situation. Now we see all the guns coming out, except for Chuma. I think he bought a gun though. He has way too little money after these rounds for him to not have a real gun, so I believe he just has it holstered. He does indeed. So he pulls out an AK. Rick nades them, gets Ozius and VRNX, I believe, or maybe that was his AK spray. He falls back. He decides to throw all the util, but they know it's a push now. Chuma decides to show plans as to why this hand peek position is so strong, because you tend to just shoot people in the face, as he just did with 3 members. Superhero checks the wrong corner of the room, gets deleted for, so Hospice kills Nuki, but Rick kills Hospice, making this a 1v3 situation. Rick is one shot, Chuma is also one shot, Toxic still full health, and Roy is just ratting out inside the table room. We will see if somebody walks into a trap. Quite the interesting position there, pushing his bottom into the table. Toxic checks the wrong corner, then gets deleted. Greedy Toxic, this is how we know him, decides to ruin his perfect KD, but with only 40 seconds on the clock and him not being aware that the enemy team is so low, Var will probably not risk it. He decides to stay in the table room, just observes Mr. Toxic's sad corpse, and the rest of the Triple Snippers decides, you know what, we threw enough of the games on the last map, let's take this for real. So they decide to play defensive like they should. Five seconds on the clock, so almost over. Alrighty, 3-0 for Triple Snippers. This is not a good result, as this map is generally regarded as being T-sided. So if you're 3 behind and need to at least partially save, again, at least you can't full buy, then that is not the situation. They're in spawn, exchanging weapons, which in the current climate of COVID is probably not the best idea, but they do it anyways, and then decides to go for somewhat of a slow A push. Nuki has already expanded the frag grenade he probably had. No, there it is. Doesn't tag anybody, but then again wasn't well thrown, I have to say, Nuki. That is something we need to practice, that we need to talk about. He decides to peek it deep. He sees Ozius, but nobody else. Ozius walks over garden, so Nuki is not quite convinced that it's actually an A. Now he hears a lot of fire and also catches somebody on his body. Gets taken out. They do not accelerate after they take him out. Hospice lurks in mid, kills Superhero, not the evening sub for Superhero, who gets constantly bullied and killed, mostly in that order, turning this into a 5v3 situation with nobody on site. Vionex about to place the bomb just right on side there. Hospice still lurking in mid. Ross very aggressive on the defense. Not sure this is the angle you want to hold. It's very unusual. Let's see if it pays out. He surprises Rick, but then gets killed by Toxic. 3v2 situation. They know at least where Toxic is. And Osius makes use of that knowledge. Yonex gets a flashbang in the face, says, "Where the hell am I?" Chuma says, "You're about to be shot," and does so. He also takes out Ver, and they know Osius was at the back of the site because he shot Toxic earlier. But he decides to push him. He wouldn't have time to defuse anyways, so this was probably a good call as he couldn't make it out of there. And this is the first round for the Plantz. And this current scoreboard has us at 7-15 for Mr. Toxic. No team kills so far, surprisingly for him. Chuma 5-1-10, Rick 3-1-9, Nuki 1-3-6, and Goddamn Superior 2-2-5. On the Plantz side, we have Ver 2-3-6, 2-4-6, 2-4-4, 2-3-4, and 1-4-2. And after all these numbers, we see another A push. Why not? It worked for them last time, even though there were some casualties. They sneak up. Nuki does need to save. He decides, you know what, this is a good place to give somebody the stabbies. We shall see if that works out for him. Hospice again lurking in the house very successfully last time. Really helped them turn around the game. It doesn't look like the Tripple Snippers have any idea as to what the target is, as they're just on the stabby positions, not rotating. Nuki goes for it, and I think that actually was a hit, but it didn't really do any damage. Knives are that way. Rick, for some reason, has an AK. Kills somebody but gets shot in the process. So now they can pick up those guns. Toxic and Chuma are not in position, but Chuma does have an AK, and these things tend to kill the enemy. So we shall see. Toxic, however, does not find an enemy, but the enemy finds him, kills him in garden. Hospice does need to be careful. He is very low. He can die to a single shot from pretty much any firearm in the game. The rest of the Plantz are holding the side. I'm not sure if Chuma should go for it. I don't think he should. He's very low. He knows somebody's lurking in garden. So even if he manages to pop off one or even two people on side, he will have one in his back and still one in front of him. Chuma being Chuma still is trying to go for it. He picks it, kills him, kills the other. He doesn't have time to defuse and then gets shot in the back. It's like I called it. They lose the AK. He makes a little bit of money, but the AK was worth more than that. So after all, it was a bit of a mixed win here because the Plantz lost quite a bit of equipment on the spot, but lucky for them, they can afford it, unlike the Tripple Snippers, who cannot. This is why we see a plastic AK coming out for Toxic, who probably shouldn't buy his, considering he cannot even use a real AK. The rest of the team decides, you know what, we want real AKs, and they buy them. This time we see a little bit of a switch up. We see Osius on the A platform all alone. Hospice still in house. Nuki now gets shot. He knows this. This has happened before. History repeats itself. And we see some rotation moving towards the A side. Probably what Plantz have in mind. However, Chuma is still being strong on the B side. Rig is still in the alleyway. So it does not look like the fake has fully worked. But now Chuma is convinced, you know what, this seems like an A push. So him and Rick rotate off, leaving all the side over. Unfortunately for them, they do deploy a smoke grenade, which tells them immediately, hey, you know what, why would there be a smoke grenade if the actual target is the B side? So they rotate back. So there was a bit of a misplay right there. Rick and Chuma are now stuck in sniper. They do not manage to cross. Very good for Tripple Snippers. Rick tries to prevent the plant by flashbanging him, but it doesn't work. Ross is pushing on, gets punished for it, and now it's a 3v4 situation. And the most dangerous part of it is not Superior in the flank, which is also very dangerous, about to kill Osius. But a very dangerous situation is the fact that the bomb is planted on the inside. So, yeah, it does not come into play as they just kill everybody, but there was a real situation where Rick might have been able to just push over, maybe throw a flashbang into the enemy position and then just make it over there and defuse the bomb, and the Plantz wouldn't be been able to make anything out of it. So most unfortunate here. I feel like the play in general was really good. They did manage to really surprise Tripple Snippers. Could have just planted, but the smoke grenade did alerted Triple Snippas that it was indeed not an A push, which then allowed them to mount a proper defense. We'll see a little bit of a manor storming here. Everybody goes inside the manor. It is quite a small manor when you think about it, considering how vast the estate is otherwise. Money-wise, we see they are now a bit more even. Ver decides, I don't like this, so he decides to take away a gun from Rick and also his life in the process, in the table room. And it now looks like they are rotating off to the A side. Interesting decision, but in order to make it work, they need to delete Nuki, and this is what they do. They still hang out in a manor, haven't really committed yet. I'm not entirely sure what the game plan is. They have 1 minute left. It looks like War is rotating over the balcony. Superhero kills Vionex, but gets traded out by Ross, who still is bloodthirsty, runs around in garden, about to be shot in the back by Mr. Toxic. That tends to happen if you make a lot of footsteps near the enemy. But now they should be aware it's an A. War is on the long position. Toxic flashes it. Ozzy now goes for the plant. You should not push out the flashbangs as your teammate is priming the bomb, because then everybody has their gun down. Toxic takes advantage of the situation, kills both of them. It's just for against 2. Toxic surprisingly waits on Chuma, but Chuma gets killed. Toxic does not have clippers, but Vert is not aware of this, but he does not hear the clipping, so he can be aware that Toxic indeed does not have what he needs to have at this point in the game, and ends his life as punishment for it, turning this into a 4-3. So the Plantz do manage to take it around, turn it around a little bit by taking 3 more points after a disappointing start. We shall see if they can turn this into a 4v5. This would be most ideal, as this is T-sided. So the hard part of the map is still a little bit in front of them. It looks like another push towards B. I believe Ver is their dedicated bomb guy. He is on the B stairs. A dangerous place to be, especially if Nuki is for some reason on B side. Looks like they swapped out Rick with Nuki, switched sides. Nuki, however, is on a save, only has a deagle. Again, we see a nixed by. Rick is about to be pushed on A side, or maybe not, as he's sneaking around. Ozzy not checking his behind, gets punished for it. Rick now should be aware that indeed it is not an A, so they should be aware it's a B. Somehow Hospice manages to precisely nade Nuki. I'm not sure how that went, especially since Nuki was just on B side. They now find Superhero in second alley, and they still now need to breach this. Chuma does have an AK on headshot. He gives a headshot to Ross and to Ver, and only Vionex is the survivor. He picks up the bomb, but he is now alone with Vionex, who is quite far away. Toxic is lurking in second alley and kills him, making Vionex all alone. He has 25 seconds, but he does have the bomb. He manages to scare away Superhero, because as Superhero is aware of guns in his American habitat, he does not like grenades, because these are not as common in America. So he plants the bomb, that's some money, but he should try to win the round, as this is very close. He does manage to kill the goddamn Superhero, making this 1v1 situation. Unfortunately for him, he is in the position where Mr. Toxic knows where he is, but Mr. Toxic does nothing with this information. Picks a fight in the middle of the pool where he has zero cover, and gets punished for it, as Vionex just shoots him down. This is not a position you should be in, Mr. Toxic. Not a position you should be in. 4-4. Final round of this side. We shall see if the Plantz can actually plant their initial advantage any further. This time we see a hefty util investment onto the A side. This should tell SD, TD, TS? DS everything they should need to know. They do not follow up the util investment quickly, which I think is a mistake. If you throw this many flashbangs, you should probably already have the side, because otherwise you just throw that into the garbage. Rick takes out Ross, but is traded in the process. They now know where Mr. Toxic is, but just gets killed by it. 3-4 situation. Frackinate just barely missing Nuki. I think they know he's lurking in house. They do, but pay for it. Superhero does manage to kill him. It's a 2v3 situation. It is last round. Hopefully this time they don't save guns on the last round. Chuma gets killed by Ver and Vunex kills goddamn Superhero, but they know Toxic is still on site as he did kill somebody earlier. We will see if he covers them. I'm not sure what that was all about. Was this like a speed run trying to get grenades? Is there a grenade achievement in this game? I don't know. Probably should have pulled out the weapon and just find the gunfight. Unfortunately for them, they did not. And Toxic manages to 1v2 them and defuse the bomb at that. Turning this halftime in favor of TS into 5-4. This is the current scoreboard. Not a good map for Nuki so far. Aside from that, we have a somewhat even distribution of scores. And for Ross, it's also not a very good time. Looks like TS decide to go for the classic A push, just flashbang and rush onto site. Chuma didn't get the memo, stays in the back, but just shoots the Glock. Nuki shoots the pistol, and they plant 5v3. Very unfortunate situation for the Plantz. Hospice trying to turn it around by delivering a whole bunch of headshots. He should now wait on his team. Ozius on the flank, kills Superhero. Suddenly 3v2 situation, but Nuki and Rick turn it into a 2v2 situation working together. Hospice should wait on his teammate, who might get... He does get naded by Nuki, so it's a 1v2 situation now, and he's already half health. So Nuki, that's... Maybe he heard my comment and, you know, decided, you know what, I want some of them frags. Decides to get, I believe, 4 of them in this round. Very important round for them. So very well done by Nuki, getting the plant and defending the plant in a turnaround that turned into a turnaround, if I may say so. 6-4. Chuma goes into the manor. The rest of the team runs up the A stairs. We see an air flashbang where runs into X-Cap. I believe he has a stabby stab. Ross on the flank trying to deliver a stabby stab but gets shut down. We see Rick charging the bomb. Superhero checking the corner and deleting Roar. 5v3. They have nothing to save, so they might as well bunch up and try to get the stabby. 2v5. 1v5, but Ozius does manage to knife somebody. And now it's just Hospice. I'm a bit concerned as to how much they go for the frags. If there was somebody successfully hiding on site, this would have been all the time he needed to clip the bomb. Lucky for them, Hospice was not such a player. Decides to go for the long rotate, and Nuki finds him. Nuki only having a Glock and gets the kill, but if he was facing a deal, that might have been quite the different play. So a bit of a dangerous play here, but it pays off in the end. He has a lot of money now as he didn't buy a safe round gun and also made the money by shooting the Glock. Well, to be more precise, getting a kill with the Glock. Just shooting the Glock does not net you money. It's overpowered, but it's not that overpowered. Looks like the same setup again. We see some A stairs push by 4 players. Chuma is running on the balcony. Not sure as to what that would be, because he's just going to be late on an angle that the rest of this team is already covering. Rick is covering Ross with a bunch of bullets. We have Aurora in the back of the side, but Rick says, you know what, I can also give you some bullets, shoots him in the face, and then plants his bomb. Seems to do everything alone on this map. Chuma does hear Hospice. Superhero does find Ozius once again. But is traded out. Chuma does get Hospice as he tries to do the long rotate, and this leaves Unix all alone. Having to fight 4 players, he probably shouldn't do this. It might be that he's looking for guns, but in this situation he does not have a lot to lose as he only has a pistol. And he does. Did he have... Yeah, there was a gun. I mean, I think this was actually his gun. His body was right next to it. So it might have been the better play to try to grab that AK and try to get some exits. But he was out for blood and he got punished for it. 8-4. Alrighty. Same setup again. Let's see if Chuma rushes to the balcony again. He does. I'm not sure what that play is about because Nuki is already in the lane. He misses his frag grenade, at least one of them. Still decides to fight this. Osius does get on the big flank where kills Rick. Ross does get taken out by Chuma. Lots of fragging here. We still have Bor on the side, but Superhero rushes to Garden in the back line. And now everything is reversed. But Vionex does get Chuma. Not sure. I think Rick did have the bomb, so it's probably down there somewhere. They might have picked it up in the confusion. It appears to be the case. Now Mr. Toxic of all people appears to charge it. And Superhero defends him. They know where the enemy is. They now just need to prevent the retake. They know where Superhero is. Vionex breaches the side. Toxic is just in X-Cap, kind of baiting his teammate out. They spot him. Superhero does get Osius, but is taken out by Vionex. Toxic now knows where he is. And it's a 1v1 situation. Vionex does not have his gun up, unfortunately for him. 9-4. So potentially the final round of the evening. We will see if the Plantz can turn it around. They certainly have their work cut out for them, as the Triple Snippas do have all the money they need for several rounds here, while the Plantz themselves are rather poor. Should probably go to the IMF, ask for a loan so they can afford better guns, but they didn't do so in time. Looks like this time they decide to stack A, which would be logical after such a play. But unfortunately for them, this time they decide to run for B. They announced this with a shit ton of utility. Nicely placed, nicely smoked off. Unfortunately for them, nobody's there. Unix is just lurking on site. Rick smells this, but gets shot in the face. Unix tries to his best to stop this. The rotates are coming in, but they are being lurked and killed. And now Ver has the impossible task of fighting a 1v4 where the enemy already planted the bomb. He does not even have clippers. He's surrounded by all sides, and Toxic shoots him in the back. 10-4 final scores. Well played, everybody. We shall see you next time when we cast a game like this. I don't know when this will be. But yeah, this is probably all for this evening. This is the final scoreboard. Suns, whoever left on the Plantz side. GG's. And with that, I shall shut down the stream. Radio RFL is down for the time being. I will see you all next time, and good night.